In the frozen silence of the Caucasus Mountains, where sunlight barely touches the ground, there lies a sealed passage, a passage so ancient, so unnaturally engineered that modern scientists refuse to explain it. Locals whisper a warning: if this gate ever opens, humanity will not survive. And what makes this more terrifying is that the Quran mentioned this gate 1400 years ago. This is the story of Hazrat Zulqarnain, the king who traveled to the ends of the earth to stop a threat so catastrophic that even the greatest empires in history feared it. Today, we follow his footsteps, from the burning lands of the setting sun to the metallic wall built between two mountains, all the way to the secret valley where Yajooj and Majooj wait. This is not mythology. This is history. This is prophecy. And this is the journey that changed the fate of the world. No one knows exactly where he was born. No tomb has ever been confirmed. No empire has ever claimed him. But historians agree on one thing: he was not a normal king. He was a ruler whose power stretched so far that the Quran calls him the one who was given power on earth. Some believed he ruled Persia. Others said he commanded Egypt. Some claimed he controlled Central Asia. But Zulqarnain was not defined by land. He was defined by purpose, a purpose that began on a journey toward the end of the world. Our story begins not with swords or kingdoms, but with a journey written in the Quran, a journey across the ends of the horizon. Zulqarnain was not an ordinary king. He was a man with extraordinary justice, wisdom, and strength. Some ancient historians connected him to great empires of old. Others claimed he ruled lands from the east to the west. What we know for certain is what the Quran tells us. Allah gave him authority, knowledge, and power unlike any other. He was not corrupt. He was not arrogant. He ruled with justice so perfectly that entire nations prayed for his arrival. But who exactly was he? Was he born into royalty, or did he rise from common life, chosen by Allah's decree? The truth lies somewhere in the mystery. What's clear is this: Zulqarnain was a believer from the very beginning, a man whose heart was filled with certainty, a man who knew his purpose, a man who walked across the earth not for glory, but to establish justice wherever the sun touched the horizon. His first journey took him toward the place where the sun sets. As he reached the western edge of civilization, he found people oppressed, divided, drowning in injustice. Some powerful tyrants ruled through fear. Others exploited the weak. When they asked him to judge, he didn't hesitate. His voice carried a message that echoed like thunder through the land: whoever does wrong will receive justice, and whoever believes and does good will receive reward and ease. From that moment, Zulqarnain became the ruler who restored balance to nations, a king who did not conquer but healed, a leader who used power not to dominate but to lift humanity. But this was only the beginning. He traveled toward the rising sun, toward lands so distant, so untouched, that people lived without walls, without structures, without proper shelter. They lived directly under the burning sky. They had no knowledge of protection, no system, no defense. Yet Zulqarnain cared for them just as he cared for all people. His mission was not limited by tribe, race, or language. He came as a leader for all humanity. But his greatest test lay far beyond both horizons, beyond deserts, kingdoms, villages, and seas, beyond the lands where humans lived and died without ever meeting another soul. His journey took him between two colossal mountains, dark, jagged, towering like the guardians of the earth. And there he met a people unlike he had ever seen before. They approached him in fear. Their voices trembled, their hands shook. Zulqarnain, they pleaded, a terrible tribe is destroying us, a tribe stronger than iron. wilder than beasts, heartless, ruthless, unstoppable. They slaughter our children, burn our homes, steal everything, and leave nothing but death behind. These are Yajooj and Majooj. Please build a barrier between us and them. We will give you wealth, gold, silver, whatever you ask. Just protect us. Yajooj and Majooj. Who were they? They were the descendants of ancient tribes, powerful, countless in number, spreading destruction wherever they appeared. Their aggression knew no limits. They reproduced rapidly, they consumed wildly, and they fought savagely. They were a force of nature, chaotic, violent, and merciless. A people so destructive that every civilization feared their arrival. Their attacks came like storms, sudden, overwhelming, unstoppable. Some ancient reports suggest they were descendants of the sons of Nuh alayhi salam, tribes that spread far into the remote regions of the earth. They were not supernatural creatures. They were humans, but their numbers, ferocity, and behavior made them more terrifying than any army. And now, those tribes were nearly breaking through the mountain pass. If they succeeded, entire regions would fall, humanity would collapse, kingdoms would crumble. But Zulqarnain stood firm. He refused the offer of wealth. He refused gold, silver, and treasures. He answered with a calm, powerful voice, "The strength my Lord has given me is better than your wealth, but help me with your manpower, and together we will build a barrier." And so the work began. The sound of thousands of hands filled the valley. Workers gathered massive iron blocks, each larger than a man. They stacked them between the mountains until the passage was sealed from bottom to top. Then Zulqarnain ordered fires to be lit under the iron towers. Flames roared, the mountains glowed red, the heat rose like waves from the earth. When the iron became blazing hot, he ordered molten copper to be poured over the structure, forming a seal so strong, so impenetrable, that even the mightiest force of Yajooj and Majooj could not break through. Imagine that moment, the smoke rising from the valley, the heat shaking the air, the people watching, trembling in awe, the iron wall towering like a mountain forged by human hands, guided by divine wisdom. Yajooj and Majooj tried climbing it. They tried digging through it. They tried burning it. Nothing worked. They were trapped. And for the first time in generations, the people breathed freely. Their children slept safely. Their homes stood unharmed. A new era of peace began. Zulqarnain looked at the colossal wall and declared something extraordinary, something that lives in the Quran forever. "This is a mercy from my Lord, but when the promise of Allah comes, He will level it to the ground, because one day, before the day of judgment, that wall will break, and when it breaks, the world will witness chaos unlike anything before." Generations passed, civilizations rose and fell, empires emerged and vanished, but the wall of Zulqarnain remained hidden somewhere in the vastness of the mountains. Scholars investigated the Caucasus, others pointed to Central Asia, some argued it was in the remote northern lands, but its true location remains one of the greatest mysteries in Islamic history. What we know for certain is this: Yajooj and Majooj are still alive. They still multiply. They still wait behind that barrier. And one day, when Allah allows, they will pour out